My first sergeant broke down crying over a care package. First Sergeant Wade Holloway was the toughest man I ever met. 22 years in the infantry, 3 combat tours, Purple Heart, Bronze Star. The guy ate nails for breakfast and spit out bullets. We were deployed to Iraq in 2007. Forward operating base in the middle of nowhere. Hot as hell, constant mortar attacks, losing soldiers every week. Morale was in the toilet. Holloway kept us together through sheer force of will. Never showed weakness, never complained, just steady leadership when everything around us was falling apart. But we knew something was eating at him. He'd gotten quieter over the past month. Still professional, still did his job perfectly. But the spark was gone. One of the guys, Private Nolan Briggs, asked him if everything was okay. Holloway just said, family stuff. Nothing that affects the mission. We found out later his teenage son back home had gotten into serious trouble. Drugs, theft, facing juvenile detention. His wife was dealing with it alone while Holloway was 7,000 miles away, unable to help. Made it worse that Holloway had basically raised half the young soldiers in our unit. He was everyone's military dad, counseled us through problems, kept us out of trouble, wrote letters to our families, but he couldn't help his own kid. That guilt was destroying him from the inside. Mail call was every Tuesday and Friday. Holloway usually got letters from his wife and daughter. He'd read them in his office with the door closed. We'd hear him on the phone afterward trying to talk to his son. The kid wouldn't take his calls. This particular Tuesday, mail arrived during evening chow. The specialist sorting packages called out names. Most guys got the usual stuff. Cookies from mom, magazines, beef jerky. Then he pulls out this massive box. Has to use both hands. First Sergeant Holloway, this one's heavy. Holloway looked confused. Wasn't expecting anything. Took the box back to his office. We figured it was from his wife, maybe trying to cheer him up. 10 minutes later, Corporal Trevor Hensley walks past Holloway's office. Hears this weird sound, like someone trying not to make noise but failing. He knocks. First Sergeant, you good? No answer. Just that muffled sound continuing. Trevor opens the door slowly. Finds First Sergeant Holloway sitting at his desk, surrounded by stuff from the care package, crying like a child. Not quiet tears. Full sobbing, shoulders shaking, face in his hands. Trevor freezes. This is the man who'd stared down enemy fire without flinching. Who'd carried wounded soldiers through minefields, who never showed fear or pain or doubt, and he's completely broken down. First Sergeant, what's wrong? What happened? Holloway can't speak. Just points at the box. Trevor looks at the contents spread across the desk. Homemade cookies, candy bars, magazines, hand-drawn pictures, letters, standard care package stuff. But there's something else. A football. Well-worn, looks like it's been used 1,000 times. Has signatures all over it in permanent marker. Trevor picks up one of the letters. Starts reading. It's from a soldier named Curtis Shepard who'd served under Holloway 3 years ago at Fort Bragg. Got in trouble for drinking. Almost got kicked out. Holloway had worked with him, got him help, saved his career. The letter explains that Curtis heard through the military grapevine about Holloway's son. So he tracked down every soldier Holloway had ever helped. Guys from different units, different bases, even guys who'd gotten out. 37 of them total. All soldiers whose careers or lives Holloway had saved through mentorship and guidance. They all contributed to this care package. The cookies, the snacks, the letters, each one sharing how First Sergeant Holloway had changed their life, how he believed in them when nobody else did, how he'd given them second chances. But the football was special. That was from all of them together. Each signature represented a soldier Holloway had helped. They'd all signed it with messages. You saved me when I was ready to quit. Best leader I ever had. You're the reason I'm still alive. Your son is the best dad in the world. That last one was what broke him. These men he'd helped were telling him he was a good father, even though he felt like he was failing his own son. The letter from Curtis ended with, First Sergeant, you taught us that nobody's beyond saving, that everyone deserves a chance to turn their life around. Your son is going through a rough time, but he's got your DNA. He'll figure it out, and when he does, he'll realize how lucky he is to have you as a father, just like we did. Holloway was holding that football like it was the most valuable thing in the world. All those signatures from soldiers he'd helped. Physical proof that his mentorship mattered. Trevor didn't know what to say. Just stood there while this mountain of a man cried over a care package from soldiers who wanted him to know he'd made a difference. Eventually, Holloway wiped his face, cleared his throat. Hensley, you tell anyone about this? I'll have you cleaning latrines for a month. Roger that, First Sergeant, but word spread anyway. Not because Trevor talked, because Holloway kept that football on his desk for the rest of the deployment. Everyone who came to his office saw it, saw all those signatures. When guys asked about it, he'd tell them the story, voice full of pride. His son eventually got clean. Took 2 years, but the kid turned his life around. Ended up joining the army himself. Holloway was at his basic training graduation wearing that same proud face. 20 years later, that football is in Holloway's house. His grandkids play with it sometimes. He tells them about the men who signed it, about the care package that reminded him what really mattered. That's what 37 grateful soldiers and one worn football can do for a first sergeant who thought he'd failed as a father.